Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Oh, where's my phone? What did I do with my phone? I think I left my phone in the bathroom. Hello, hello. I'm back. I was gone for 2 seconds. I have my phone. Let me make sure you can see me. Let's go here. Yep. Let's go there. Yep. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. If you're catching the love your hair. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I went to the hair salon this morning and got my bangs cut because they were like down to here. They were so long. I had to pin them back all the time because I couldn't see. And then we've been lightening my hair slow and steady lightening process so that it doesn't fry it. So I know I could bleach my hair and go blonde if I wanted to, but then that's horrible for your hair. So it's been a slow and steady process. Thank you, Anna. And I needed it. I needed the me time because some of you know my mom passed away and from COVID, and so still dealing with that, with the loss of that, and then I've got more family drama. Never ends. Family drama never ends. And so that has been really hard to handle. Oh, but so I needed that me time. I needed that me time to just not think about it and just get pampered. And sometimes you just need to take a break. You just need to take a break from everything. And for me, that was me getting my hair done, just taking a break from everything. So let's continue on our journey how to be your own Wonder Woman. Self-care is so important, people. Self-care. Very, very important. Self-care. So let's go ahead and do that. Yes, your time is important. And sometimes we forget to take me time. And I was like, nope, I'm taking me time because otherwise it's going to be in a bad mood and it's going to affect everybody in my family, and that's not fair to them. So took some me time. So let's go on in our journey with being your own Wonder Woman, and we're in day 3. If you need the link to the free workbook, let me get that for you right now. I have created a free workbook for you to continue on being your own Wonder Woman. That's right here. Let me put it in the comments. It's also at the top of this post. There's a link for it at the top of this post, but I'll go ahead and post it in here in the comments too, and pin it so everyone can get it. Hold on. And I have to, my phone, I love my iPhone. I love it. But I hate the auto text. I hate the auto text. Oh, it's a pain in the butt. 5-day mindset boot camp. Did I spell that right? 5-day mindset boot camp. Yep. All right. And then we're going to pin. Perfect. Hi, Charmaine. Hi, beautiful. Yeah, so let's get started. Let me share my screen. Let's just get into it. Let me know how you guys are liking the first 2 days. The first day we learned about Wonder Woman and who she is as a person, what her passions are, what her morals are, who she fights for, and all that. And then, come on, computer. Then we wrote down our passions and our morals and who do we fight for, and to see if we have things in common with Wonder Woman, which I bet a lot of you found that you do have a lot in common with Wonder Woman. And so that makes you believe like, hey, I am my own Wonder Woman just by looking at the comparisons. And then day 2, we made our own Wonder Woman mantra, which was so much fun. I love mantras. And one of our own fellow Wonder Women put her mantra on her mirror in her bathroom. How smart is that? So she could see it every day and remind herself that she is her own Wonder Woman. Okay, so let's go. Sorry, I think I went too far. I went too far. I did. Today we're going to talk about the shadow. You're like, oh, what is the shadow? Shadow is good and bad. Oh gosh, I can't catch up with my screen here. Sorry, I'm going too fast for my screen. I should have already went to the page, but I just got back from the salon and then had to eat lunch really quick. Then I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get this in before I go pick up the kids. Here we and my computer's a little slow because I'm sharing my screen. Here we go. This is where I want to be. Module 3, facing your shadow. So what is the shadow? And your version is going to be blank. So you're going to have some fill in the blank opportunities here in your workbook. Mine has the answers. So your shadow self is an archetype that forms from our unconscious mind. It contains repressed ideas, instincts, impulses, weaknesses, or desires. It is often formed in childhood through childhood experiences. It is formed by environmental experience, i.e., parental beliefs or morals. So your ego is your safety blanket. It is your blanket telling you like, "Ooh, no, you shouldn't do that. Like that could lead to some bad choices or that could lead to some bad results." Like I always think about your shadow. Like say you're like when you're driving, like for me, when I was driving in LA one day going to the BeautyCon expo before COVID hit. I'm so glad I did that before COVID hit. And we were going to the BeautyCon expo, and I hate going to LA, but that's where all the expos are, is in LA, Los Angeles. I hate going there because there's all these one-way streets, and you can turn down the wrong street and end up in a really bad part of town instantly. And it's very easy to make that mistake. And so, lo and behold, I was going to this beauty expo, and I turned down this street because I got lost, because I always get lost there. And like I was boom in the slums of LA with, you know, some characters on the side of the street which didn't look like they were up to anything positive, rather things that are negative. And I was like, uh-oh, let's get out of here really fast. Like that was my ego telling me, this is not a good idea. You need to turn around and get out of there. So that's your ego. It's often a safety blanket telling you things like red alert, don't do that. That could lead to some bad things. So it often keeps us safe in situations like that, or it could hold us back from answering the call from our intuition to step into our greatness. So it's like a yin and a yang. It's good because it keeps us safe, but it's bad because it hinders us because of all the what ifs that are holding us back from stepping into the unknown and doing the thing that scares us, or or pushing ourselves a little bit harder, or stepping outside of our comfort zones, because our ego will say, no, don't step out of that comfort zones. People might judge you. They might think that you're being too pushy, or they might think that you love makeup too much, or they might think that, all the other things. There's so many things. There's so many what ifs. So, and it is sometimes formed in our childhood. Like I was thinking the other day. So your first question here is, write about a time in your past where you were encouraged to hide a part of yourself or your personality. So I was thinking about that for myself. This is how we're going to dive into our ego and kind of see how it shapes our personality too and our life choices. And when I thought about my past and how I was brought up, I was always told, don't say something. What did my mom always say? Like, oh, now I can't think of it. But that saying where if it isn't nice to say, don't say it at all. Kind of like the same things like that. So I've always been, so because I was taught that, Like, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. It made me very shy. Like, I took that as like, oh, I shouldn't speak my voice. Like, oh, I shouldn't speak out. I should be quiet and I should blend in. And so as a child, when I was growing up, I was very shy. And people might meet me now and be like, you were shy? That's crazy. But yeah, I was very shy. And I had extreme anxiety talking in front of people. I had even anxiety being in front of people in general. In high school, I joined a dance instead of physical education. I had two choices. I could either join the swim team, which means I would be in a bathing suit in front of guys, which I was like, no, don't like that. Or I could join dance. I was like, I'll join dance so I don't have to join physical education because I hated PE. So I joined dance and I had no experience in dance at all. And I joined the class. We were taught a dance routine. I had to get up in front of people and perform that dance routine in front of people, and I froze, completely froze, because I was in front of people, and I was always taught. I took that rule of don't say, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all, as, ooh, you shouldn't talk, you shouldn't be present, you shouldn't be loud or noticeable. And so I just froze. And then in college, the same thing happened. I had to take speech in college, and I specifically took it over the summer so that it would be a shorter term class. And I had to go up there and I had to stand in front of everybody and talk about my keys, my keys. And I froze. I froze because I was so shy and I couldn't even talk about the keys I had in my hand for my car. So I know the struggle, or I know that our ego can be our best friend and keep us safe, our nice warm blanket, and it can also hold us back from being greater. So think about a time in your past where you were encouraged to hide a part of yourself or your personality and write about that. And there's journal pages below. If you continue on, there's a journal page that you can answer that question. And as I continued on in my journey, my education through college, I went to school for psychology and I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. And I learned a lot about Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. And Carl Jung was my favorite psychologist. He's famous for writing this red book where he really got into your unconscious and how it plays a role in determining our decisions and how we act as a person. And so his quote is, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And that spoke, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Sometimes I come before a loss of words, but it spoke mountains to me. Like, no, we often think because of the choices that we make that, oh, we disguise them as fate, but really it's goes all the way back to our childhood and how we were brought up and how we were encouraged to make certain life choices, and those life choices play a role in how we live our lives in the future. And so I just thought that that was a brilliant quote, so I had to share it in here. But then also the next question we have is, what are some of the beliefs that you tell yourself that are self-limiting? Example, I can't do this because. So when my mom said, don't say something nice, or no, wait, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. I really took that to heart. Like, oh, I shouldn't share my voice. And so it made me very shy and made me not want to stand out. When I was learning about self-development, um, 4 or 5 years ago with my friend Rebecca Anholt, we learned about intuition and how your intuition calls you to do something greater. And then right away, instantly, your ego will come in and be like, oh, no, you shouldn't do that because I can't do this because ABC will happen. And it always, or what if, like, what if I fail? Like these what if beliefs come to happen. So I want you to think about life experiences that you've had in the past where you said, I can't do this because, or you were called to do something and you stopped yourself from doing it because your ego came in and said, oh, no, you shouldn't do that because this could happen, because this bad thing could happen. Because it's always a bad thing. It's like, ooh, we get inspired to do something, but we shouldn't do that because this bad thing could happen. Like, for example, when I was younger, I was deciding, should I go get my bachelor's degree or should I go to beauty school? Should I get my bachelor's degree or should I go to beauty school? And my intuition was calling me to go to beauty school, but my ego said, that might be a waste of money because not everyone is guaranteed a job after they go to beauty school. So you should get your bachelor's degree. So I went and got my bachelor's degree. And what I found out was I didn't get a job right away after I got my bachelor's degree. In fact, it was really hard to get a job using my degree in psychology, just having a bachelor's degree. Like, if you really want to use your degree in psychology, you have to go get your master's at least to get a good high paying job, or at least a paying job where you can make a income where you can support yourself. If you have a bachelor's degree in psychology, it's like the really low paying jobs that you really can't support yourself on. You would need an extra income. So that's what I learned. So for me, it was like my intuition was calling me to follow my passion for makeup and cosmetics, but I was like, well, I know it's not a guaranteed job. Like, this what if could happen. I can't do that because, and then I chose a different path. Now, did that different path lead me to success eventually? Yes, it did. I did eventually get a job in psychology and I learned a lot and I loved it. I loved my job. Doesn't mean that I should have gone the other way. No, but what could have happened could have been something better that I don't can't even imagine if I went and got my certification in beauty school. If I would have gone to beauty school to become an esthetician, like, who knows? Like, the results could be endless of what I could have become. I still made it worth it. I still got my degree in psychology. I still got a job and I still helped children who were in residential homes who couldn't live in society anymore, and I made a difference in their lives. So I still had a positive outcome. But that's just an example of how our ego is our warm, safe blanket and says, no, you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this, or what if this happens, because it's trying to keep you safe, which is great for situations like if you drive down the wrong street in Los Angeles. But it's not good for situations when your intuition is calling you to be greater. So, those are two really good questions to answer in the journal pages. Let me just see if I have any questions I'm missing. Nope. So let's continue on. And if I'm talking too fast, just let me know. So now we're going to learn how to face your shadow. And this is going to be really cool. So, how you react to people and situations, how you react to people and situations can reveal when your shadow is presenting yourself. There are two ways to recognize when your shadow is showing up. One is through projections, and how you react to situations, and one is through triggers, how situations make you feel. So projection is, in psychology, they often talk about that as you pushing your beliefs onto someone, like you're projecting your beliefs onto someone. And triggers, it's you're exposed to a situation and it makes you react instantly. That's a trigger. Like, people with PTSD can be triggered by loud bangs, or, like, when your car exhaust, um like, you would hear that bang from the car exhaust and it sounds like a gun. That can trigger someone's PSD if they're a war veteran, or if they were if they were in Afghanistan or something, and that can trigger their PSD. Those are triggers. They cause instantaneous reactions that are physical and emotional. Where projections is where you are in a situation and you want to control the situation. You try to control it by projecting your beliefs or your morals or your values onto this situation. So, write about a time when your shadow revealed itself and how you reacted to the situation. How did you feel about the situation? What was I going to talk about in this one from my example? Um, One example, haha. So I was on Facebook. Was it this week or was it last week? I think it was last week. I was on Facebook and I saw a woman post how she made a post that said, I wish women would have the confidence to see the beauty in themselves without wearing tons of makeup. And I was triggered by this post and I projected and I had projections because of that. I had both. I had projections and I had triggers. So I was triggered by this post because I had an experience when I started working with makeup um, in a retail establishment, and I had a woman come up to me who asked me to do her makeup, and she was a survivor of domestic violence. And I didn't know it right away, but when I went to go put the foundation on her face, I could see the bruises underneath the makeup that she had already put on, trying to hide the bruises. And when I noticed that, she noticed that I had noticed the bruises on her face. And so she was telling me her story, how she just left her husband. And um, it was very emotional for both of us. She was fighting back tears. I was fighting back tears. And that's when I realized that makeup is not just about vanity. And makeup is not just about trying to look better than someone else, that it's more about survival and it's more about having me time and it's more about engaging your creativity and seeing the artistic creations that you can make with makeup. It's a career for people. It's a way to put food on the table for people. Like, it's not just about looking good in a red lipstick. It's not that at all for most people. For 90% of the people out there, it's about surviving, or it's about just having enough, feeling empowered enough to face the day. And so that post triggered me, and boom, I reacted and tried to push my beliefs onto this person's post. And I commented, and later on, stood back, and I thought about my reaction, and I said, well, that's not very good to do. I can't project my beliefs onto other people. People are allowed to believe what they believe. They have their own life situations. I can't project my beliefs onto people and say, I'm right and you're wrong, the end. We have our own life experiences. So I deleted the comment, and then I did something productive and went on Facebook and talked about it and got it out of my system. Had like a therapy session for myself and went on Facebook and talked about it and got it out of my system. So that's an example of how um, triggers and projections work. And for me, I had both, both at the same time. So, 7 actions you can take to face your shadow to help you to be more empowered and help you recognize when your shadow is calling you to be safe, because that's very good. You should not turn down that street in Los Angeles that has all the sketchy things going on. You should stay on the main road, and don't you should ignore your shadow and go do the thing that scares you and go to beauty school, or go get your bachelor's degree, or go start your own business, or whatever it is your intuition is calling you to do. So first of all, banish the shame. You know, my mom was taught when she was young that if you don't say something nice, you shouldn't say something at all. That's not her fault. That's how she was taught. So I shouldn't feel ashamed because she taught me that way as well. I should stop banishing myself and be like, gosh, mom, I wish you would have taught me different. Like, no, she's a product of her environment, just like you are a product of your environment. Banish the shame. The experiences you had in your past, they help shape you, but they don't have power over you if you don't let them. Number 2, write a journal. Write about it. Number 3, laugh at yourself. Sometimes there's things that we do that you just have to laugh. Like, laughing is very therapeutic. Number 4, meditate with a focus on self-love. Oh, that is so powerful. You should just do that just because. Meditate with a focus on self-love. That is just one of the best things you could do. Meditation is another form of prayer. Pray about pray about it. Ask God for guidance and forgiveness, and Great things will happen. Number five, think about good qualities. So think about your good qualities and accept the opposite of yourself. Like sometimes we just have to accept things like, what is, I am not, um, I don't like confrontation. And that's because of the way I was raised. My mom never liked confrontation either. And so when she would be in situations where she would have to be loud or stand up for herself, she couldn't handle the pressure and she would cry. And so a part of that has been taught onto me too, where I don't like being in confrontation. In fact, I will do everything I can to avoid it. But I accept that. I accept that part of me. Like, yeah, I don't like confrontation and I won't be the person that, like, I have a lot of patience. Because of that, I have a lot of patience. So it takes a lot to get me to be confrontational, is what I'm trying to say. It takes a lot for me to get to that point. And then number six, realize your shadow is a reflection of your power, honesty, and passion. Like it's a part of you, and you can use your ego or your shadow to give you power in certain situations. And then talk to someone you trust, i.e., a therapist. It's always good to talk to someone you trust, professionals. Sometimes we all need to talk to a professional sometimes because life is hard. So that is, I know I kind of like breezed through that so super duper fast. Let me see if there's any questions. Hi Heidi. This is a hard chapter. I'm not gonna lie. It's a hard chapter because we're thinking about how we were raised. We're thinking about our life experiences and situations where another example is I I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was a kid, and I didn't pursue that because math was not my best skill going through school. I realized that. And so I didn't push myself to work harder on it and see what I could have done. Like maybe I could have been a marine biologist, but I kind of held back because I lacked that self confidence. I was plagued by those what ifs. Like, what if you can't get past the next math class and then everything stops for you? Like, what if? So I hope, through this whole chapter, the main message you get is don't let yourself be paralyzed by the what ifs. Learn to recognize your ego when it's calling you to be safe because of a dangerous situation versus where it's calling you to stay safe because something greater could be on the other side of that bridge, you know, hypothetical bridge. Something better could be better on the other side for you. Don't let the what ifs, don't let your ego hold you back from going after the thing that scares you. Don't let it hold you back from getting that bachelor's degree. Don't let it hold you back from going to beauty school to extend your skills. Like if it's something like if your intuition is calling you to do something that scares you, that might be a good thing. And we're going to talk about that more tomorrow in the next chapter, um, about how to recognize your intuition versus you just thinking. Um, so we're going to learn about that more tomorrow in the next module. But I hope that was helpful. I hope the main thing you got out of this was, yes, we all have an ego. We all have a safety blanket and it keeps us safe from making those wrong turns in Los Angeles. But it also we don't want it to keep us too safe from going out there and doing something to better ourselves. Like don't let your ego hold you back from doing something that will be of benefit to you in the future. So let me stop sharing my screen. Do, do, do. Remove. So I hope that, let me go to the comments, catch up with the comments. Okay, so I don't see any more comments. I hope that was helpful for everyone. And tomorrow we're going to talk about our intuition. And oh, I could talk a long time about intuition and then talk about chakras and get into all that stuff. But in fact, I've even made a course on chakras and all the things you can do to strengthen your chakras and connect to your chakras and but that I wanted to include it in this, but it would have been too much. It would have been like a 15-day course if I did that. So I wanted to keep it simple, simple and sweet. So tomorrow we're going to talk about intuition. I hope today you take the time to dive into your ego and kind of look into situations in the past where you stayed safe and recognize like, oh, I should have, or maybe things could have been different. And don't feel bad like if things could have been different. Like a lot of things could have been different from me, but like I could have gone to beauty school, and maybe if I did, I would have had my own beauty shop or something. But who knows? Who knows what could have happened? But accept that part of you, accept that part of you of the past, let it go, and move forward for the next thing that could be thing the next thing that your intuition is calling you to do could I can't talk today. Recognize that so that when your intuition calls you to be greater for the next thing that comes along, that you don't shy away from it, that you say, oh, today I'm going to do something different, and I'm going to take that first step into the unknown. I'm going to take that first step towards what my intuition is calling me to do, and just go for it and see what happens, because you never know what could happen. And our intuition is always calling us to be greater no matter what we did in our past. No matter what we did in our past, our intuition is always calling us to be greater. So, have a great day, everyone. And I hope you have a blessed day. And you helped me a lot focus on what I want. Thank you. Oh, yay. You're welcome, Anna. Yay. I know. One thing I've learned is I get excited about lots of things. Like, there's so many things that I like to do, or things that I think my intuition is calling me to do. And I can't do all the things. I can't do all the things. So I have to pick which one I want to go for. Because I'm just one of those people that just gets excited about everything. Like if it's shiny, I get excited about it. So have a great day, everyone. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. And if you need help with anything, just let me know. Have a great day. Bye.